You're listening to episode 725 of the Father Bills Podcast. Welcome back. This special episode is entitled, Let Go and Have a Merry Christmas, given on the Solemnity of the Nativity of the Lord, 2019. Christmas can bring out the best and the worst in us. Why? Might it because we're all trying to compete or meet some expectation of what Christmas needs to be? Do you not have a list of something or some stuff to do? We have in our minds an idealized image of Christmas, possibly, where all the right people are there and all the right food is there, cooked in just the way it needs to be, present, perfect, table made. Yet when we set ourselves up with these expectations, all that we do is stumble and fall. Or is it just me? We become angry or hopeless because we pinned our hopes on something not real or unlikely to happen. The perfect Christmas. Even worse, we have completely forgotten why we celebrate Christmas. It's not about the turkey or the ham, although those are good things. Our worries and anxieties can easily distract us. What would happen if we had no expectations of what it should be? Instead, what would happen if we let each Christmas be what it is, rather than what we think it should be? All the work that we put into it. This is not lowering the bar or being pessimistic. Rather, it is a radical departure from living in the world to living in the Spirit. We often say, "I'll go with the Spirit," or "It's the spirit of the thing." It's the Spirit, not the letter of the law. Go with the flow. These are things that can really help us, I think. Some of the most profound Christmases I recall were totally untypical and not planned. The most profound was the last time I was with my father, who was in the hospital dying from lymphoma. This was some 24 years now. He would live on till Easter. But the realization of that moment and how precious he was to me was intensified. Thinking how many times at Christmas I was a jerk. Didn't really consider his work he put into making all the things happen. All the Christmas presents wrapped and hidden. All the times I went sneaking around finding them beforehand. And here he is now, dying of lymphoma in the hospital. You know, instead of being saddened by this, I am thankful for that wake-up call on that Christmas Eve. It was a gift to me, and it taught me more about the meaning of Christmas than any other I'd had since. It reminded me of why Christ came as a child to live like the rest of us, to save us from eternal death. Each Christmas I look to my mother, who is now 94 years old, and I look at her and I recognize that her life on earth is coming to a close. She is precious to me. She loves me and is patient with me. She's learned after 94 years that you really can't tell the kids what to do. So I cannot give her any material gift that she would want, because she wants nothing. I will set down in writing my heart in a Christmas card that will express the most important things. I will also call her and tell her of my love. I imagine that as a mom, what better gift could there be than the love of their child? And that brings me to Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. the Holy Family. One of the greatest gifts Mary and Joseph could receive was the love of their son. And not just a son or anybody else, a very particular child who is God incarnate. Sometimes moms and dads, your kids think they're all that. They think they're God. Well, Jesus was and is. Sometimes the teens think they know it all. Well, when he was a teen, he probably did. But see, and Jesus' love was so potent because he was God that it would reach out to all people, you and me, and all time, forward and backward, the past, present, and future, and all those in eternity. I can only imagine what the power of Jesus' love did to his parents. I mean, I can already see it. We have a school, and I watch what our school kids do for our parents. They're one of the great evangelizers. They come home, they're excited about Jesus. Either mom and dad are like, I don't know how to answer that question. or they're just inspired by just the sheer faith and love that they share. So think about it, parents. What would you give to have the undying love of your child? I know it'd be almost anything. You see, because our children are the key to our hearts. They are the gifts that God has given us, gifts which, among many things, keeps our hearts open and childlike. Several years back, a child told me after Christmas Mass, I sometimes bring him up in the front, and she told me that she did not want any presents for Christmas. I'm like, what? She just wanted to be with her mom. Wow, how profound, huh? To be like a child is to be without pride, malice, selfishness, or revenge. It is to be open to the forgiving love and care of a parent and anyone else. And that's how we all should be. And so Jesus coming as a human being didn't immediately come, poof, an adult. He came to show us how to live and was a child. So now is the time to pay special attention to what is most important. I don't know what's going on in your family. We all have our stuff. But if there's a need for some reconciliation, reconcile. Forgive each other. Serve each other. Love each other. Cherish the time you get to spend with each other. The younger we are, the less we recognize this. And the older we get, we start recognizing that one person isn't here, and then 2, 3. My mom tells me, my friends are all gone. I'm like, Mom, you're 94 years old. You've beat the record. Yes, but you have us. We're here with you. Which, by the way, I think is the key to the part of the mystery of why bad things happen to good people. Or I should say, what's God doing about that? In the manger, he's basically saying, I am here. I am with you, and I'm going to go all the way with you. So what is so important that we quarrel and fight over? Are you looking out for only what you want, or are you motivated to love the other? You see, selfishness and greed are the paths to destruction. And selflessness and compassion are the way to eternal life. Don't waste any more time. Every year it's common, the news programs do this. We look back on the year. What's happened this year? Who's not here this year? What great things happened this year? What amazing sports feats occurred this year? Tonight is the night when our hearts can be transformed once again. Yes, we'll look back. This Christmas is not going to be like the last Christmas. It can't be. As we ponder on the mystery of Christ becoming man, we are confounded by the incredible humility such an act would demand. Think about it. God doesn't need us. He can do his own thing. And yet he chose to create us. And as if that wasn't enough, he chose to become one of us. And if we think about this long enough, this should really make you turn your head and go, what? That's scandalizing. Who would do that? A loving, passionate, forgiving, merciful God. And we know that because this gift that we celebrate will culminate in his passion, death, and resurrection, a gift founded in complete self-giving and perfect love, a gift that he will offer us so that we may have eternal life. So take this time, this Christmas season, and I mean season, not just tonight. I know that some of us may be getting ready on December 26th or 7th to take down those lights. The baptism of the Lord, that's a couple weeks away. Party and celebrate this gift. Your neighborhood will start taking theirs down, and you'll still be up there. And you're like, those must be Catholics. That's right. Take this time and help someone. Let go and be a gift to others. Because this is a time of gift giving. What's the best gift you could give to somebody? Some of those gifts don't have a dollar amount to them. Do it, in fact, without expecting any strings, no quid pro quo, and no assumptions. That's hard. Did you give a card to somebody and are expecting a letter back, like thank you? Give that up too. Let God, who emptied himself into a child, be living and breathing in you. You, me. Our world needs to see this. And be mindful. You just might be changed for the experience. Thank you again for listening to this episode of the Father Bales podcast. And I hope that you and your family and your loved ones have had a blessed Christmas day and eve. And now we move into the season of Christmas, which will continue up through the baptism of the Lord. So I want to encourage you, you may have lights up and all these kind of things still at this point. Don't take them down just quite yet. It is not the end of Christmas, even though our world is probably starting to do that right away, or at least on this coming weekend. But keep them up all the way through the last Mass of the baptism of the Lord, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. Now, if you have any questions or comments, as always, just go to my website, and there you can email me directly, or you can see what's going on in my social media accounts. Now, I'll do my best to get back to you if you have a question or comment. Until then, may God bless you, and have a wonderful Christmas season. Bye-bye.